Hey there chefs, welcome to my weekly menu. We're shortly going to get cooking our 10 dishes from this week's menu. We're going to take you through really simple. Remember to get your little recipe booklet. It's got all the recipe cards inside, really straightforward. Oven temperatures, colour coded, numbered, very easy. Next week's menu is our last weekly menu before we go into our Christmas selection of menus, and then it's going to be New Year, would you believe? We're cooking a lovely Marmite sourdough next week. We've got sautéed tiger prawn in a risotto Mayonnaise. We've got glazed rhubarber, loads going on. Have a look at the menu, and if you enjoy this one, if you've got a box and you want to experience it again, go online. Last order Sunday. Hope to see you soon. First up is our weekly bake, and this week we've got a lovely focaccia, but this is a little bit of a different, really special one. This is a tartiflette focaccia. So we've got a normal focaccia dough underneath, and on top we've got potatoes, we've got smoked bacon, we've got onions, we've got lovely slices of reblochon cheese, just melt into the focaccia, absolutely beautiful. That's going to go into the oven, in the paper, about 8 to 10 minutes, just to heat through. Take it out of the paper, back in the oven, just to give it a little glaze on the top, 2 to 3 minutes. All ready to go. And then I'm going to get my lovely little caramelised onion chutney, which is just here, sticky, unctuous, really nice. I'm going to put that into a pot on the table, and then we'll be back shortly to slice this dreamy weekly bake up. Tartiflette has just come out of the oven. You see how I unwrapped it, and you get that lovely little glaze all over the top of it. Completely up to you. I'm just going to take off that edge. It's not going to go to waste. I can tell you I'm going to have a nice little nibble on that. Tiny bit of rapeseed oil, just for that little glisten on the top, like so. Up to you. I like a tiny little bit of extra molten salt just on there, and then just slice it. Nice serrated knife, and that will enable you to slice through really good. There we go. Let's turn that around. So that's all ready to go. Get my caramelised onion chutney, which is a beautiful little thing to serve with this. You look at those, all that layers of potato, all that lovely smoked bacon on there, that reblochon cheese. How about that for a weekly bake? What a way to start off this week's menu. Up next we've got a crab and Armagnac bisque, so lovely warming soup for this time of year. That's all in there, into the pan, heat it up, don't boil it. Dash of milk at the end if you want it to be nice and frothy. Get the bay mix in there, or a little hand whisk, and just give it a little froth. Really nice touch. In here, garnish, little crumpets. How about them? Shellfish crumpets, little shellfish bechamel on the top with some tiger prawns, crayfish tails in. They're going to go in the oven with the lid off about 4 minutes, or just until they're warm. Let's get them in. And then when we come back, I've got this fennel, a little bit of confit fennel there, with a touch of lemon. I'm going to empty that into a dish. We're going to put 3 piles in our bowl, crumpets on the top, pour the bisque around, and then we've got this nice bit of shellfish oil. So everything's out, ready to go, back in a few minutes. So there's my crab bisque. You see how I've not boiled that, it's just come up to scalding. And then with that little dash of milk I added to it last second, nice and frothy, it's all great. Get a bowl, and then simple as 3 nice piles of confit fennel, which has got all that lemon going through it, so nice and zippy. You can serve these on the side if you like. I like them floating about in it, just like almost like a French onion soup style. Sit them on the top, just push them down so they stay in place. There we go. And then let's get our bisque. Just pour that carefully around. That little bit of froth that's all in there. Nice. And then we'll get a bit of oil. This is just a tiny bit of shellfish oil, a little bit of chives. So you can just pour it around. And you look at that, you see how it just splits out. Lovely. And that's it. Nice shellfish bisque. Just sit that one back on there, he's just escaping. All ready to go to the table. Hope you enjoy it. Now we've got a lovely tureen game, 'tis the season. In here we've got brioche, we've got crispy chicken skin. So what we want to do, get that out of the bag, Incidentally, the little mosaic here, or the pressing of game, that's all been warming up 10 to 15 minutes before you're going to need it. And then it will taste absolutely lovely. Fridge cold is not the way to serve it. So there, I'm just going to show you, that's my chicken skin. Let's just empty that onto the board, all ready to go. Here, let's get our brioche. Let's get it under the grill. Keep an eye on that because it does burn very, very easily. Prune puree, a little game vinaigrette. Now let's open up that pressing. So there you go. You can see why we call it a mosaic, because you've got all the lovely pieces. In there we've got pheasant, we've got partridge, all local to us here on the Isle of Wight. Take a pair of scissors, and we've just got a layer of eco film, so eco clean film, just on the outside. Just snip that off, peel that off, and that can go into your food waste or into your bin from the tool. Keep an eye on my brioche, just starting to colour there. Where the brioche is sweet, it will colour very, very quick. Back under, both sides. Then what I'm going to do, a little bit of rapeseed oil on the top. There we go, nice shine all the way around it. And then we're going to put that just at the top, like so. We've got our little chicken skin ready to go. Cut the brioche off. Keep an eye on my, brioche. Cut a little edge off of prune puree, so we can use that as a piping bag essentially. And look at that, brioche is all ready to go. Onto our board. And then really, really nice, this is a way of serving the brioche. Let's get our prune puree and put a nice big amount of that. It's almost, this is like your chutney that you would serve with a terrine. But get a palette knife, and then you see I'm just spreading it all the way around. I'm keeping it just a little bit domed in the centre. You see I'm just spreading from the edge, so I keep it all nice around the outside. Look at that, lovely. That can go onto our plate. Let's get rid of that hot tray. And a little bit of chicken skin. This is just where you can kind of put a few little pieces, just sitting up against a terrine. Adds a really welcome little crunch to the dish, like so. And last up, our game dressing. So here we've made a stock from the pheasant, from the partridge, the bones. We've reduced it down, tiny bit of sherry vinegar, rapeseed oil. Look at that, finishes it off perfectly. And how about that? Beautiful seasonal pressing of game, partridge and pheasant, prune puree, toasted brioche. Vegetarian course now, and we've got a really nice potato salad with truffle mayonnaise to bind it. Just here, really, really interesting, slightly alien looking like crackers. These are made from tapioca. We've got parsley puree going through there, and then we've grated lemon just on the top of them, and a little parsley dust. What you want to do with these, you don't have to, but just get those crackers onto a baking tray, and I'm going to get them into the oven, just literally 1 to 2 minutes, just to re-crisp. Nice and important. So, got my bowl here. Here's my potato salad. Now I've had this out of the fridge about 15 minutes now. Again, you don't want it fridge cold. I know I bang on about it quite a bit, but it's really, really important, because otherwise you just won't be able to taste anything. So I'm just going to cut off those edges. Remember, all these bags are all eco bags, so it's not loads of plastic going on. Right, then what I'm going to do, get a little ring mould. Don't have to do this, nice little touch. Little ring mould, and then just take some spoons of that potato salad. You can see that's lovely and sort of soft now where it's warmed up. I'm just gonna get a nice bit of that salad into the ring mould. Try and use 1 spoon to sort of gather it up, and then your little finger just to push it all down and hold the ring mould steady. A little bit more waft of truffle coming off. This is delicious. There we go. Okay, final bit of potato salad. Let's just move that out of the way. And I'm not going to push it so it's all completely compacted. I'm just going to do it like that. lift it off. Okay, quick rinse of hands, and let's grab our crackers out. Out they come. It's just very, very quick they want to be in, not too long because you don't want to burn them. And then let them harden up again. Okay, then we've got a little dust. This is Gran Padano cheese with parsley and truffle. And we've got a truffle dressing here, lovely black truffle dressing. I'm going to empty that into a little pan to make it nice and easy for me to dress round. Again, as you open this, it's just going to be wafting. It smells absolutely delicious. Get a spoon. Right, let's start. So, I'm going to you've got to play with the height here, but try and build it up. And just make use of full width and height of the cracker. Look at that, you see how it comes together instantly. There's only 2 ingredients on the plate, but already it's looking really, really nice. There you go. Then what I'm going to do is get a little bit of this little garnish. Just going to dust it. Where's the Gran Padano? It will just, once it hits that warm cracker, it will just melt into that. And of course the rest around the side will just be lovely when we get into our potato salad. Tiny bit more. Beautiful. Save that for another dish. Give your truffle dressing a nice stir. Get all that black truffle in there. And then a little bit on top, not too much because you don't want the cracker to go soft, but I do want it almost like as a dressing. And then all the way around. Make sure you stir and get a good bit. There we go, tiny bit of rapeseed oil just for that colour. 2 oils just kind of splitting. There we go, something a little bit different. Be careful with this one taking it to the table. But look at that lovely stack of full-on flavour. Hope you enjoy it. Little take on fish and chips coming up now. We've got a lovely Plaice tempura. So in here, massive Plaice we've got in, cut some nice sections of them across. Also, we've got one of our favourites. This is Amalfi lemon, just tempura as well. A little Duchess potato, just in here, so that's just a potato, just piped. Tiny bit of egg yolk in there to hold it together. Both of these are going to go in the oven for about 9 minutes to heat up. And then cucumber, charred cucumber in a little bit of herb oil, just into a pound of scalding water, 5-6 minutes, that's all it takes. Tartar sauce, that's what you want a bit, isn't it? So a little bit of tartar sauce, just coming up to room temperature here, really, really important. I'm going to get these in the oven now, back in about 9 minutes to plate up. Just about ready to serve up my Plaice now. I've just taken my cucumber out of the water, so you just empty that out of a little pouch. We heat things up like this just because it can really preserve their colour. It just means that you don't need another pan or another pot going. So turn that over, give it a nice little coat in that lovely green oil, tiny bit of seasoning on there, and also with my Plaice, which is just going out of the oven, putting a little bit of seasoning on the top. Right, let's get plating. Our pomme duchesse, let's just lift that off. There we go. So that's just going on there. Then I'm going to get some of my tempuras. I'm just going to start getting them all stacked up, and again, use the height here. Really make it look beautiful. A little bit of confit lemon, just sitting in there, like so. A bit more Plaice. Then I'm going to get my bit of cucumber. I'm just going to sit that just in the side. Let's come back. Let's get our tartar sauce just on there like so, and then let's get a little bit of herb oil, and as you dress it around, just kind of cut the sauce just so that you can get a nice bit of green. Tiny bit of rapeseed oil, And that is all ready to go. Main course, Plaice tempura, pomme duchesse, and a little tartar sauce. Up next, we've got a chicken dish. Here you've got your lovely roasted cornfed chicken, just in a bag, touch of thyme in there. This is already pre-cooked. All you need to do, carefully undo it. I've got my tray lined with a UV chef paper just here. Open it up, keep that thyme on there. A little bit of rapeseed oil just to go on the top of it. And then that's going to go in the oven. Just going to give my hands a quick rinse. That's going in the oven about 12 to 14 minutes. So let's get that cooking. There we go. Make sure it rests for a couple of minutes before you serve it. Garnishes. In here you've got some lovely root vegetables, just glazed, nice bit of thyme on. What I want you to do with these, leave the lid on just loosely so they won't get almost too coloured, too dark. They're going to go for about 10 minutes. Then we've got lentils here, braised lentils, some nice smoked bacon, tiny bit of water, little tip, just a little bit. That's just going to go onto the edge of a stove. It's going to take a couple of minutes to heat up. Sauce de Bisque finishes it off. This is a white onion puree, silky smooth. Both of those are ready to go onto the heat. And of course I've got my vegetables which are going to go shortly. So back soon to plate up. Right, I'm all ready to serve up my chicken now. Plate all heated up. That's my sauce de Bisque. Now I've got my root vegetables, my chicken. Just take that little bit of thyme off the top. Lovely skin. Tiny little scattering of molten salt on there. Right, first up, let's get a good dollop of our sauce de Bisque. And just get the back of a spoon. Just basically make a nice little circle all spread out like so. There we go. Little quiet wipe of the plate before we carry on. Right, next up is our lentils. So in here we put a little bit of glass, a little bit of chicken sauce in there to heat them up with so they're lovely and sticky. And we get a good pile of lentils all in the centre, like so. Lovely. Then let's get our chicken. So you can cut the chicken breast if you want, but I'm liking the look of this, all nice and whole. Set that, pride of place. And then next up it's our root vegetables, so completely up to how you do this, but let's start going around with some nice little cubes of swede. There's a touch of honey in here. We've got some nice flecks of thyme, so it's all really lovely and autumnal. We get some little parsnip pieces going around the outside. So just take your time with this. See how I'm like resting one up against another. That way you get height and you get interest to the plate. A few more. Then finally I'm going to get a few of the carrots. Now we've not got a heavy meat sauce with this week, as we've got our sauce de Bisque underneath. And we've got that little bit of glass which has just been heated up with the lentils, so I think you will very much enjoy it. A few more carrots. And we're ready to go. There it is. Lovely roast chicken, nice and simple. De Bisque sauce underneath, lentils and roasted glazed root vegetables. Backed by popular demand for this vegetarian main course is our twice baked goat cheese souffle. There it is. Lovely little slab of that. You've got the little cheese glaze on the top, nice bit of nutmeg. Lid needs to come off of that. That's going to go into the oven for about 12 minutes, so 10 to 12 minutes, or until it's nicely golden brown and it will rise, of course, a little bit more. Here we've got spinach. So this has just got a bit of butter in it. The reason it's in a bag is sometimes you get a bit of moisture come out. Empty that into your Biocane tray. Put the lid back on it, bake it in the oven 8 to 10 minutes, just until it's hot. And then when we come back, I've got my sauce here. This is a verjus sauce, or verjus is made, it's basically green with grape juice. And then in here, the garnish, which will complete the sauce, is grapes, walnuts and tarragon. That will go into the sauce just before we serve. Just give it a little stir. So I'm going to get this in now, and then we'll be back in about 12 minutes to plate up. Right, I'm ready to serve my souffle now. Got all my sauce there, so I've just added my grapes, all the walnuts. Now I suggest get this plated first. So get all that round. Try and make sure you've got all the colours spread out nicely. Got black and green grapes in there. And get some of that lovely verjus sauce. Tarragon, God, it's all going on. Right, spinach. As you see there, as the spinach is cooked, you do get a little bit of moisture come out of it. Just literally just squeeze that into the side of the tub. You don't want to put a load of water into the plate. Nice bit of spinach in the centre, and that's going to sit our souffle on the top. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of height. There we go. Right, time is just about coming up for the souffle. Make sure you're all ready to go to the table. Nice little fish slice ready to lift the souffle. Let's go. Out it comes. Work as quick as you can now. Lift it out on the paper first of all, then straight under, just with your little fish slice, which is really ideal. Palette knife if you can. Sit it on the top, like so, and then straight away to the table. Hope you enjoy this one. We've got a hot chocolate Titanic now, so it's like a chocolate fondant. We've got that mix all piped in there for you. It's got a marmalade centre in, really nice, lovely and seasonal. We've got a clotted cream parfait that's just come out of the freezer here, so I'm going to unwrap that all ready to go. Just keep that there. And then we've got orange salad, some confit, zest and little orange segments. This is going to go in the oven now. Let's get that going, 12 to 14 minutes. The way to see it's cooked, it should have all risen up the sides, but it's still slightly dark just in the centre. When it comes out, make sure you rest it, good 2 to 3 minutes at least, which will help you turn it out. If you think it needs a little bit longer in the oven. So back in about 12 to 14 minutes, and we'll show you putting it together. Titanic's come out of the oven now. I've rested it about 3 or 4 minutes. I've been resting this for. Remember, the longer you rest it, the easier it is to get out of the container. So if you need to get a little bit of palette knife and just gently just down the sides if it's stuck at all, but very, very gently. Let's get that onto our board. There we go. Let's get a little palette knife in there. Lift up our little parfait. Just put that just on the side, smooth the sides down nicely. There we go. Then I'm going to get my orange. Nice segments. And some of that confit zest you can see start to get built into there. You want to get some of the segments, get them hanging over the edge. Make it look really beautiful. A little bit of confit. A bit more orange. Like so. And then just finally finish that off. Nice little bit of height to finish. There we go. Okay, spatula. Gently peel down the paper, just from around the sides of the Titanic. Underneath, remember that's liquid inside, so you want to keep it nice and flat. And there you go, straight to the table, and you'll have that lovely oozing centre of a chocolate in the centre. Enjoy. Nice little meringue dish now for you. What we're going to do, we're going to pipe the inside of the meringue. So see, we've baked that, we've hollowed it all out, ready to go. Let's sit that there. We've got tropical fruits, we've got a mango sauce, and we've got a passion fruit creme diplomat. Get a knife, cut off the end of your piping bag, nice and carefully. Then your sauce, I'm just going to cut that off in readiness. So cut that off. I'm just going to leave that at the side of my board so it's all ready to go. Okay. Let's get some fruits. You can get sauce on the plate, completely up to you, however you want to plate it. I'm going to get a nice bit of my tropical fruits on my plate first of all. Slightly wider than the actual meringue because you want to see them, of course. So a few more. Like so, there we go. And let's get a little bit of mango sauce just on the plate. I'm just going to gently pour some of that. Just like so, there we go. Get your meringue, get a Diplomat, hold it like a piping bag just at one end, and then you can pipe that all inside. Just make sure it gets completely full up. Slightly overfill it. Let's put that just there for a minute, and then quick as a flash, turn that over, set that on the top, and I'm just going to go back and pipe a little bit of that leftover creme Diplomat around my plate. And there we go. Use the last of that. That is already lovely, simple dessert to finish, but lovely zippy flavours. Hope you enjoy it. Onto our cheese course now. We've got Colston Bassett this week, so it's not our cheese taster. We're actually going with one cheese, making the most of highlighting this lovely aged Colston Bassett there. Make sure that is out 15 minutes before you're going to serve it, just on the side to warm up. Garnishes, we've got a little bit of poached pear in here. We've got a port syrup, so this is reduced port syrup. And then here, lovely tart fine of pear. So you see, puff pastry base, nice pears on the top, a little bit of apricot glaze. I'm going to put that into the oven now for about 5 minutes just to warm up, and then we'll be back and plate this lovely cheese course up. So tart fine, that's just come out. Let's put that onto my board. Now just crispen up again, the bottom. Just going to get my nice little bit of Colston Bassett onto my plate. Let's get my pears open. That's just some nice pears, just gently poached. Your tart fine, I'm gonna rest up just against there. Put some nice pieces of a poached pear all the way around, so you've got kind of like two different flavours there. You've got that really chewy caramelised pear, and then you've got the fresh poached in there as well, like so. And then cut off just a very, very little hole, see there, of your port syrup. You can always cut a little bit more off after. Just test it on your board. And you want to be able to just pipe that. So you see there, just how that just comes out, and then just kind of drizzle that over the pears and all the way around. It's nice and sticky, but you do want to kind of get it exactly where you want it, otherwise it's going to stain your plate and then you make a mess. There we go. Port syrup, look at that. Lovely, really, really simple garnishes to go with my beautiful Colston Bassett cheese. Hope you've enjoyed our UB Chef cook along, and of course hope you enjoyed the menu, most important. Remember, next week is our last weekly menu before Christmas. Our Christmas and New Year menus are still open, but not for long. So if you like Christmas menu sorting, jump on the website, have a look, you won't be disappointed. For now, hope you've had a great menu, have a great week, see you soon.